The Bumpy Ride of Fate. As a taxi driver, I've had my fair share of interesting experiences. From late-night revelers to lost tourists, the backseat of my yellow cab has seen it all. But there was one particular ride that went horribly wrong, and its aftermath left me forever changed. It was a gloomy evening, with thick clouds looming overhead, promising a torrential downpour. I was parked near the bustling city center, waiting for a passenger to appear, their destination unknown. The moment arrived when a young woman, drenched from head to toe, flagged me down. Her disheveled appearance made it evident that she had experienced a misfortune of some sort. She slid into the back seat, shivering and dripping water onto my faded upholstery. "I need to get out of here, fast," she said, her voice trembling. "Where to, miss?" I asked, glancing at her through the rearview mirror. "Anywhere but here. Just drive, please," she pleaded. I nodded, understanding her urgency, and we embarked on our journey through the dimly lit streets. Raindrops pelted the windshield as I navigated through the labyrinthine roads, trying to offer some solace to my distressed passenger. Yet, the atmosphere inside the taxi remained tense, as if a storm raged not only outside, but within our very souls. Suddenly, a flash of lightning illuminated the darkness, revealing a disheveled man sprinting towards my cab. He banged on the windows, his face etched with desperation. Without thinking, I unlocked the doors and he jumped in, gasping for breath. "Drive! We need to get away," he shouted, his words a jumble of urgency. Confusion filled the air as the woman and the man exchanged wary glances. They seemed to recognize each other, but carried an invisible baggage of mistrust. Unsure of what to do, I decided to follow their lead and hit the gas, our taxi surging forward into the storm. The rain intensified, making visibility nearly impossible. Thunder rumbled in the distance, providing an ominous soundtrack to our chaotic journey. With every passing moment, it became apparent that something dangerous was chasing us, its relentless pursuit fueling our fear. The streets blurred into a whirlwind of lights and shadows, but my mind remained focused on the task at hand. I darted through narrow alleyways, raced down empty boulevards, and swerved to avoid collisions. We were on the brink of losing control when, in a moment of desperation, the woman shouted, "Turn left!" I obeyed her command without hesitation, only to find myself in a dead-end alley. Panic coursed through my veins as we screeched to a halt, trapped like cornered prey. The atmosphere grew suffocating as we exchanged anxious glances, knowing that our time had run out. Suddenly, a deafening explosion erupted, shaking the very foundation of our reality. Smoke billowed around us, obscuring our vision and enveloping us in its acrid embrace. And in that moment, everything fell silent. When the haze cleared, we found ourselves surrounded by police officers, their weapons drawn. They handcuffed the man and the woman, treating them as dangerous criminals. Confusion washed over me, but I realized too late that I had unwittingly become an accomplice in their misdeed. Hours passed as questions were fired in my direction. It turned out that the man was a notorious thief, and the woman his accomplice. They had robbed a high-security facility, and the police had been hot on their trail. By unknowingly aiding their escape, I had become entangled in their web of deceit. In the aftermath, my reputation as an honest taxi driver was shattered. The media hounded me, painting me as an accomplice or worse, a knowing participant in their criminal activities. The days turned into a haze of public scrutiny and legal proceedings. My once thriving business crumbled, leaving me with nothing but regret and a tarnished name. As time passed, wounds healed but left scars that would forever remind me of that fateful night. The yellow taxi that had been my livelihood now sat abandoned, a ghost of my former life. I vowed to rebuild, to prove my innocence and regain the trust that had been stolen from me. And so I became a recluse, dedicating my days to clearing my name. Every waking moment was spent piecing together the fragments of that night, searching for the truth that eluded me. It was a long and arduous journey, but gradually, the evidence began to surface, revealing a web of deception that had ensnared us all. Years later, the truth prevailed, and my name was finally cleared. The media begrudgingly acknowledged their mistake, but the damage had been done. The taxi that once carried passengers to their destinations now carried a heavy burden of memories that could never be erased. Today, I drive once again, offering rides to those in need. The yellow cab has been replaced, but the lessons learned will forever remain. Life is unpredictable, and sometimes the choices we make have consequences that extend far beyond the confines of a single moment. In the wake of that ill-fated taxi ride, I learned the true weight of trust and the resilience of the human spirit. And though the scars remain, they serve as a reminder of the bumpy ride of fate that changed my life forever.